to let Wayne introduce all of you guys. Wayne is an official down in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma City.
Yep, and he has this L3 officiating group, so he works with building officiating down in that area, helping people become better at their craft. He came recommended from another person that's going to be speaking to us in February, Nicole Brannon. She and I also played ball here together. So she's going to talk to you guys later in February, more concentrated on basketball. You guys have a free range to do whatever you want to do. There's no limits. It doesn't matter. We just took a test, so we have nothing right now. So we just want to hear from officials. I'm not an official, so we want to hear from you guys. So Wayne, I'm going to let you take over, and I'll get out of the way.
Oh, excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, let's first of all start. My name is Wayne Freywitz. I'm from my home city. I had officiated for 30 years. 30. Running up and down the court, chasing kids. Okay, then I retired. And I decided to spend more energy and more of my time doing this, which is teaching others, training others, and talking to people like you. Okay? I want to get something very clear from the very beginning. This is interactive. Okay? Interactive. So if you have any questions at all about anything, ask the question. Need clarification on something, ask the question. Okay? That's why we're here. And by the way, I came with backup. Status T.C. Coleman.
Hello.
Rosa Rodriguez.
Hi.
Clarissa Gross.
Hi.
All right, that's my backup. Don't let me go by myself. Don't trust me. Make sure I stay on task. Okay? So you guys just had a test, right? What was the test covering? What do you guys study?
Officiating.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
Officiating.
Officiating, more specifically.
Situational questions.
Situational questions. Love it. Okay. Are there any situations that you may be covered on the test? Or all you guys watch sports on TV? Let me back up. You play sports? Show of hands. Love it. All right. So do you have any situations in your game or matches that you've had that you've always been curious about?
I was telling these guys about a situation I witnessed at one of our high school games where the game had ended and the official gave a technical after the game had ended.
Yes. Yes.
And so everybody was very confused, but I understand that that's allowed.
It's allowed because our responsibilities do not end when the horn sounds. Our responsibility begins when we enter the arena or gym before the game, before the clock even starts, and it ends after we leave the confines of the gym. So that when the game ends, the clock ends, and when the game is over, right? But everyone's still responsible for his or her behavior. And so then, yes, the bad behavior can be penalized after the game. And that penalty will more than likely affect a student athlete probably the next game. Okay. Depending on the institution, the conference you work in. So yes, even though the game is ended, we're still responsible for what happens in that arena. All right, that's a really good question. I love that. Anything else? Now, like I said, I've been working for 30 years, so I've seen a thing or two, or three. So you guys, anything else that just boggles you?
What's the difference between like player communication with umpires or referees and coach communication?
That's a great question. We communicate with everyone in the gym are stakeholders, players, coaches, table personnel, administration, fans. They're all there for the game, correct? And so we have different ways of communicating with all of you guys, everyone. When it comes to fans, administrators, they're not on the court themselves, but we have signals that we use that communicate what we're doing on the floor. Every signal that we utilize is a communication piece. So the fans know exactly what decision we're making on the floor. Table personnel, we talk to them all the time. And so that they can keep track of what's happening in the game. Now, coaches and players. Now, I'm a strong believer that you communicate with everyone. Everyone. Why? Because I need you just like you need me. if, let's say that, what sport did you play?
Baseball,
Oh,
football.
that's supposed to be basketball. Baseball. All right, play baseball, right? Umpires, right?
Yeah.
There could be a point in time when I may need you to help me with a situation on the floor. And if I know that I can communicate with you, guess what? What's your name?
Andrew.
Andrew. I say, hey, Andrew, come help me out. Get with your boy Todd over here, all right? Help me with his behavior. And I come to you, you may be the captain, you may be the leader, to help me with one of your teammates so that then we don't have to use our tools to address his behavior. We won't keep everybody in the game, right? We'll allow everybody to play. And if we listen and adjust, then everybody can play. If you don't listen and adjust, you go talk to Todd, right? Yeah, he's still acting up. So then I go to Coach. Coach, I have a problem with 32. Can you help us, please? If they address it, we're good. If Todd's behavior changes, we're good. If it doesn't, now let's use our tools. What are our tools as officials that we can use to address behavior? This might be on the test.
Penalty cards?
Penalty cards. Yeah, soccer and volleyball.
Volleyball. I do a little bit volleyball. Yellow card and red card, right?
Yes, thank you. Oh, just real quick side note. I did volleyball for
You did. Yeah, you did.
For
3 years?
3 years.
Without the card?
I never had a card. I never had a red or yellow card. Okay, here's the reason why. In volleyball, there are certain things that should, deserve a yellow or red card, right? But when you compare it to the basketball environment, it didn't register. I'm thinking, oh, that should be addressed? Oh, really? I'm used to people jumping out, screaming, yelling, chasing us. No, that was like, oh, she was just asking a question. Oh, okay, so different sports are different, right? So yes, cards. That's a tool. What else?
Verbal warnings?
Warnings. Yes, we can use we already had a conversation, right? Had a conversation with Todd, right?
Yeah.
He didn't change his behavior, so now we got a warning. All right, Todd, that's enough. Okay, Todd, that's enough. Check that with coaches. Coach, that's enough. And everybody understands what that is, because everyone understands that if it doesn't change with the warning, what's next? Before that, okay, a long time ago I used to do that, but before that, the next tool we have the technical foul. Okay, yellow card, red card. Okay, technical foul. And then after that, we have a second technical foul on either player or coach, and now they're disqualified from the game. They have to leave the game. Okay? So the key to all these tools is just to address behavior. Head coaches. Head coaches are just as competitive. They get just as excited on the sideline. And so sometimes their heart rate, their emotions get elevated. So we try to pull them back down to where they can still be effective and coach the team. So we use the same tools. Conversation first. That doesn't work. Warning. Coach, that's enough. That doesn't work. Technical foul. That still doesn't work. Second technical foul. And they're disqualified. Okay? But the key is, here's the key. Here's what's really most important. Whether it's players or coaches, our job is just to address the behavior. It's not personal at all. Once I give you a warning, and if you change your behavior, we're good. We can still communicate with a coach. They can be irate, jumping up and down, taking their jacket off, throwing it across the floor. Okay, technical foul, right? But if they bring their behavior back down, we can still communicate. Why? Because it's not what? It's not personal. It's not personal. We're just addressing behavior. And here's the key. Like I said earlier, at some point in time, I may still need this coach to help us with this game. So if they can change their behavior, bring it back down where we can just communicate as people, as human beings, yeah, then we can get through the game successfully. Because everybody who had paid and bought a ticket came there to watch the teams play, right? They didn't come to watch us. They came to watch all of you guys compete. That's why they're there. So our job is to help provide a level playing field, court, so that you guys compete against your opponent equally without one person or one team having an advantage over the other. That's our job. That's why we're there. Question? What's your name, man?
Chris.
Chris? Chris, you got a question in your, which play?
Baseball.
Baseball. So you got a question, help me ask the question. Oh, you know, Chris, do me a favor, stand up. Okay, so we're on a diamond. I'm behind the plate. Okay, I just, strike three, boom. You disagree. How would you ask the question?
Where did you have that?
Say that again.
Where did you have that?
Great question. I'll say, hey, it caught the outside corner. Caught the outside corner, and that's why I had third strike. Okay. Now, what goes through your mind? How do you really feel in that moment?
I would probably disagree, but you just say okay and walk back.
Okay. Good.
Being a respectful.
All right, thank you. That is how you communicate with the officials. You disagree, but what's on your mind?
I kinda disagree. Like at the
Come
beginning,
on.
I would say the same thing. Like, where'd you have that? But like, if he thought it was a little out or whatever, I probably wouldn't. Like, I'd let it go, but I wouldn't be big about it. I'd just probably be like, I thought it was a little out, and then chat about it in between innings or whatever. Just kind of get a feel, because it's nice for a player to have a feel for what's what.
Come on. You have a feel for how the others call the game.
Yeah, exactly. Especially if it's early.
Especially if it's early.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I even give you the last word. I can let you know exactly what I saw, and you can be walking away and say, well, I think it was out. And just keep walking. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
I don't give you the last word. Why? Because I still need you. Okay? I need to do my best to try to keep you in the game. Now, if you say, well, I thought it was out, and you keep saying I thought it was out, and you was elevated, you still want the dugout, and then you add some more words onto that, okay, now I've got to address it. Okay? Because I'm addressing what?
Behavior.
Come on. This is what? Interactive? Okay. I'm addressing what again? Come on. Behavior. Because the most important thing is this game, this sport that we're participating in. And I cannot allow your behavior to have a negative impact on this game. Okay? Because then that's the only thing people remember. It could be a great game. 1-run game. Chris? 9th inning, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. No one on the bases. He cranks it. Knocks out the park. Okay? 1-run win, right? That's what everybody needs to remember. They don't need to remember yelling at me yelling at you. Okay? They don't need to remember that. That's what they need to remember. That makes sense to everybody? All right, cool. Oh, give me something else. Give me something hard, man. That was easy. Give me something hard. Situation that you have always wanted to ask about and been curious about. Yes.
So this is actually a personal experience. I played high school volleyball, and I think we were playing against Circle. One of our, I think she was a left side hitter. She went to hit the ball down, and as she was hitting the opponent, they threw a water bottle onto the court to just like replay because they knew that we were going to get the point, so they cheated. But the officials, they didn't see anyone throw the water ball on the court, so they replayed it without like checking like footage or things like that. And we were telling them like they're cheating. We saw it with our own eyes. So like when the coach would talk to them, they kind of just like disengaged the whole situation, called the replay, and then they ended up getting the point in the next replay, and it was kind of like really unfair. So like, how would you handle that?
See, Lisa, that's why I bring back up. see, how would we handle that?
The thing is, let's say I'm the app official and watching the game. If it throw from that way, if I didn't see it, it's kind of hard to, because it's a high school ball game and no monitor to review it. And I wish I could take the word that somebody did it, somebody's cheating, but if I didn't observe it, it's hard for me to penalize that I didn't observe. So, and volleyball, yes, it's good or bad, we can do replay. There are a lot of things for the other sports we can't do. Right? Basketball, let's replay it. Back to 5 seconds. No, it's nothing happened. No, we don't do it. But volleyball, this is one of the tools because anything could happen. So this is not fair for you guys, but unless my down officials or the other way that we see that we are watching the game, we are watching the things. Sometimes we cannot watch somebody throw it, so maybe by that time it's not fair for you guys, but the replay would be the only option, I would say. But if that happens twice, second time or something, then we have to do something. And I believe it's in the rule book, could be high school and college, it's different. For example, for basketball, if somebody do using closed speakerphone or something, or somebody with the drums or something, if we recognize it, if it's no for which teams, then we have to do the technical part. It's nothing to do with the team. That team is gonna be penalized. That's one of the rules we have for college. I don't know for sure about high school. But, so that's the reason, like he said, the game is created by not only for the players, coaches, gaming administration, and the fans. Those are all, included. So,
Right.
but for your question, yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Yeah, if I were them and I didn't see it, yeah, I would go to the play. Yeah.
I'm about to ask it. Thank you. Thanks, DC. Great question. And I know you had a question.
Yeah, I just want to know. Okay, so I play basketball here, and I was blocking out about a 6'4" girl.
Mm-hmm. How tall are you?
I'm about 5'6".
Okay, sorry.
So I got her back, and she reached over, and there is no call, which I understand it's a little hard when she's that much bigger than me. So I asked the referee. I said, "Hey, I just wanted to know what I need to do to get that call."
Good question.
And he said, "Good luck." So I just wanted to know what your thoughts are on that. So
Okay. My response would not have been good luck. Okay. What I would share with you is what I saw. Now, I'm going to give you something to utilize when you're on the court. Because every player on the court is entitled to their space on the floor, and they're entitled to their vertical space. Okay. So your verticality. So the width of your body, from the floor, width of your shoulders, all the way to the ceiling. So just ask the question, Mr. Referee, did she invade my vertical space? She's so much taller than you, right?
yeah.
I'm gonna help you out. You're boxing her out. You're not backing her out, right? You're boxing her out. She's behind you, and she reaches over you into your vertical space, and there's contact. Okay? So ask the question, did she invade my vertical space? Officials think about it, you know what? Good point. She may have. So then it may not, it won't change the call on that play, but moving forward, as you continue to box out that 6'4" girl, because you're the best player on your team, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. And so you're boxing her out, so the next time, now we're more apt to look for it. Okay. It all depends on how we pose the question. And we use terminology that they are familiar with. We can do that. It doesn't matter what the sport is. If you use the terminology that the officials and the umpires, the referees use, then you can connect with them, and they're more likely to pay attention to it because you brought it to their attention. Okay? Great question. Great question. What else? I'm still looking for something hard, man. Something hard, something difficult. So talk about situations, right?
You ever had a
Here, then you.
You ever had a problem with another referee in your crew that maybe wouldn't make a call that they were 100% sure of, and how would you handle that?
Okay. True story. I was working all season Hartland tournament. Okay, true story. No, it's true because TC was watching the game in her office online, texting me during the game, laughing. Okay, working the game. We had a great pregame. I mean, I'm serious. I worked with two experienced officials. They are top of the staff of the coordinator that we work with. Okay, great pregame. One of the best pregames I've ever had in my entire career. Now, mind you, I've been refereeing for 30 years, and I give a pretty good pregame. But this one was next level. It was so good. I don't get hyped. I'm not an emotional guy. I was hyped. I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go. Let's do this. Great pregame. We get out on the floor. True story. I mean, you guys know 3 positions in basketball officiating?
Yeah.
Personal, inline, lead, trail, center, right? So play right in front of me, boom. Just 2 players. Match up with the ball. And I hear a whistle from way over here. Tweet! What you got? Foul. Okay. Early in the game, right? Early. Like, oh, 1 off. Everybody maybe he's a little nervous. Maybe he get into the game a little bit. Next possession. I have another whistle from the parking lot. Tweet! Okay, what is going on? Okay, I got whistles going off all over the place on plays I know for a fact they cannot see. So my options are to sit there and live with it, or try to have a conversation, try to help us get on the same page. Try to talk to them, that didn't work. Second half, come out, we have a play in transition, and intentional foul. Well, it's flavor one back there. Intentional foul. Everyone knows what the penalty for the intentional foul is? When you run, push somebody from behind. What was it?
It's a flagrant. Right?
Flagrant?
Yeah.
What's the penalty? How many free throws?
2 free throws and the opposing team gets the ball back.
There you go.
Where?
1, 2.
Right.
It was that cold last night.
Yes, so you're right. 2 shots, defending team gets the ball at the division line. Okay, true story. So we're in transition. I'm at the fire court. Girl goes to the basket. She actually makes the basket, but she gets shoved from behind. Bam! She falls. Intentional foul. Easy call, right? Intentional foul. So I'm coming down to the bench for the free throws. I've got the ball in my hand. My partner reports it to the table. He's got his little strut on. Big call, right? He's doing the thing. Intentional foul. They have a conversation. How many free throws is it?
2.
So he turns around and says, shooting 1. That was my expression. Just like that. Yes. So I'm holding the ball. I said, no, you're shooting 2. And he said, no, we're shooting 1. And so I'm like, no, we're not. We're shooting 2. So my partners get together, they talk again. They turn around and say, no, we're shooting 1. Now, mind you, this whole game, whistles have been going off all over the place. We are all over, as a crew, we're all over the place. We're not connected as one, okay? But at some point in time, you have to decide to do what's right. The arena is packed. There are teams from all over the place. There are fans from all over the place. The guy who assigns us is watching. Everybody's there. But at some point in time, you have to rely on your value system to do what's right. The pressure was easy to go with the decision and just go with it and worry about it later. With everybody watching, you have to do what's right. So no, I said, no, we're shooting 2. Goes to the table. A friend of mine, he was an alternate in the game. Have a conversation, comes back, he says, yeah, you're right, shooting 2. Okay, not a problem. Now we're good. So you have to take a stand on what you know to be right, what you know to be true. You have to believe in it. You make decisions accordingly. And so what it does is it helps you to get the play right, because our priority as officials, umpires, and referees, the game is first. The match is first. Our partners are second. Yourself is last. Think about that for half a beat. That's your priority. With every decision you make, everything that you do on the court. It's not about me. I have to take care of my partners to the best of your ability. And also, the number one thing is the game itself. We have to protect the game. We validate scores. We validate outcomes. And if we do our job the way that it's supposed to be done, in an effective and correct way, then it's a great game. Everybody enjoys it. You athletes get the most out of it that you possibly can. And it's a wonderful experience. We don't do what we're supposed to do in the way it's supposed to be done. Now, we could be having an impact on the outcome of that game. And then, what is everybody talking about? What is everybody talking about after the game?
The official's mistake.
The officials. Now we're on social media, we're on YouTube, we're on ESPN. Everybody's talking about the officials. And they're not talking about how well their game was played. That's why it's important. Okay? You have a question?
I mean, yeah, it's not as good as that one, but how like frequently or often would you say like no calls happen? Because like
All the time.
yeah, okay. Because I was in the game and I was like, I love play basketball. I was in the paint and I didn't cover the big man for whatever reason.
Okay, wait, you said you in the paint?
Huh?
You in the paint?
I was in the paint.
In the paint? Cover
Yeah.
the big man?
Yeah. Well, because I mean, my guys had to like rotate and everything.
Talk
So
to them, but okay, go ahead.
yeah, I know. It was a transition. So,
Okay.
So I was covering them, and when they went up for a shot, my guy was like on the backside, so like there was no ref on that side that could see him, and dude just full on just BOW!
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so and it was enough to like move me too. So like after it happened, I just went up to the ref and I asked him, I was like, hey, could you watch for like kind of making like little arm bars on the backside?
Right.
Because they were doing it quite frequently during the game because it was close. And so I mean, he just kind of like just laughed me off, and I was just like, that's the question.
Yeah. You know, the wonderful thing about what we do is that there are the right way to do things. And we also can learn from people who also do it the wrong way. Okay? We can learn from all experiences. So sometimes people show us what not to do as officials, and we can learn from that too. So in that situation where you're covering a big guy in the paint, you know, you're defending him, right? How much bigger was he than you?
Well, I mean, he wasn't like the big man, but I mean,
He was taller than
he
you.
was taller than him.
Okay. And so there was displacement from behind. And did you ask the official who was closest to you?
No, I don't know. I couldn't.
Yeah, so the official closest to you, the way that our system works, they may not have the best look at their play. There are three of us.
Yeah.
And the way that our system operates, that we operate with, is that each one of us have a different angle on every play. One of us should have a look at that potential contact. It may not be the official closest to the play, it may be the official farthest from the play, but they may have the best look. So the question is, okay, they're displacing us. What could you do to help the officiating crew pay attention to that contact?
Yes.
So that's your question, right? Okay, so you come to the official and say, Mr. Ref, okay, would you mind taking a look at the displacement of the players behind me?
Okay.
Because displacement is a foul. That's why I was saying we're boxing out, we're not backing out, right? Yes, because you back out, we're displacing. That's a foul. So if we ask the question, Mr. Ref, would you mind watching the displacement from number 13? Okay, every time we come down the floor and I switch over, I think I have great position, but he keeps displacing under the basket. What does that do? Puts it on their mind to watch for. There you go. Exactly. And then that helps us as a crew to know what to look for. And you also add some additional information because you provided the player's number, right? So it's not just any general displacement. No, now I have to watch Black 13.
Yeah.
Okay? So now I can focus. See, that was a good question. Really good. I feel better than this question. All right. Any other situations? I'm sorry. Any other? Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever worked with a crew that there was a lot of no calls just because they wanted to be done?
Did you hear about the laugh over there? Yes. Yes, I have. Yes. And I like to always point out that we as officials, we're human also. Yes, we might be wearing the shirts, but we're just human beings. And sometimes we're influenced by situations. Especially if it's a game, especially if it's a big league, 30-point ball game, right? 30-point ball game, we're getting close. It's in the now fourth quarter. Get close to the end. We're trying not to blow a whistle, no calls, right? Just so the clock can keep running. Okay?
How do you continue to be preventative with fouls and stuff during that time?
I'm gonna give you my answer. If it's a 1-point ball game or a 35-point ball game, If it's a foul, I'm putting the whistle on. Okay. Why? What's our number one priority?
The game.
The game.
The game. The game, yes. Safety, yes. Okay, thank you guys. The number one priority is the game. Okay, regardless of the score, regardless of the time. Because if I allow some, and by the way, let me sidebar come back. Yes, we have no calls. We have correct no calls. We have incorrect no calls. Okay, so that's the key. And if I allow this player, but you got the number down 30, but let's just say you are by chance, okay? You're down 30, but you're still playing hard, right? You're still,
Always.
Always, come on, always. And then I allow this player to displace you, to push you on the basket, to trip you, to block you, to run over you, not have a whistle. How does it make you feel?
I get angry.
And what happens when we get angry?
Creates conflict.
Push back.
Say that again.
It creates conflict.
Conflict creates conflict.
That's a pushback.
It's a pushback, right? So regardless of the score, we're gonna have a conflict, and there's gonna be pushback, right? So now we have a 30-point ball game, nothing happening. Now all of a sudden, it's escalated, and we have conflict. It's escalated. What's your number? You play with?
Number 10.
Number 10. Ooh, number 10. And I've seen this happen. I see her coming. She's come all the way down the floor. Like, yeah, she's gonna push it back. Here it comes. Boom. Right there. Why? Because now she's angry because we didn't blow our whistle on a play that was illegal. That is why you work the game from beginning to end, regardless of the time or the score. Does every official do that? Does every official do that? No. Do the better officials do that? Yes. Why? Because we're protecting the game. Okay? And plus, I tell everybody this is my pregame. I don't want to be on YouTube. I don't want to be on ESPN. Okay? So we're going to blow our whistle. And here's another piece. And this is from the coaching perspective. Coaches watch what we do. It's easy for us to get connected and engaged and hyped and excited when the game is close. Close ball game, right? All the fans are up, it's loud, it's rocking, back and forth ball game, that's easy. But if you can work just as hard in a 30-point ball game as you do as a 1-point ball game, the coaches recognize that. They respect that. Players recognize that. She's down 30, and I'm not letting that girl beat up on her, okay? She respects that. So if we maintain our priorities as they should be, we will work the same from beginning to end. No matter the score, the time, the inning, it doesn't matter. Okay? Yes.
I forgot.
Oh, my bad.
Okay. Good. You were answering the question. No worries.
Okay. All right. No, good question. Good situation. What else you got for me? Yes, ma'am.
Have you ever officiated with someone who already had like a premature bias about like a team?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
how did that like affect the game?
Well, you try your best to try to help them to not allow it to affect the game, but that's real. And like I said, we have pregame conferences. And in basketball, we don't work with the same crew, same official every game. It changes from game to game. So in our pregame discussion, sometimes your partners will volunteer information. Man, this coach hates me. Every time this coach sees me, he or she is always yelling and screaming at me. If he or she says anything, I'm teching. I said, okay, I'm happy to hear that you guys have conflict in the past, right? Okay, but here's what we're gonna do. Let's wait for something to happen first. If it does, then we'll address it. Okay. So you try to pull them back down, because officials are, like I said, we're human too, right? They get in their emotions. So you try to help them manage their emotions. Okay. You try to pull them back down, and then you pay attention. Once the game starts. You get better.
So I have a real question. Sorry,
Oh, that was a
I didn't
great
mean for us
question.
to get off on the teams, but one of the things that I saw a lot when I was playing and coaching, and I think it was more, I think it happened more often back then. Officials officiating differently at the end of the game.
Yes.
my thought is if it's a foul in the first quarter, if it's a foul in the last 3 seconds or 2 seconds, or whatever, how do you handle the last part of a big game that's close?
That's a great question. Because the reality is, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's old school. How we used to referee. Yeah, I came up there and then thankfully I progressed beyond it. Thankfully, and kept going. But as far as an official is concerned, there are timestamps in the game. And the last 4 minutes of the game, we have to be highly accurate and highly consistent. Why? Everyone, let me back up. Hardly anyone will remember a call you make in the first 4 minutes of the game. But you make a decision in the last 4 minutes, they will remember that. So in the last 4 minutes of the game, we must be consistent, highly accurate, and very effective with our communication. And that's when we have to reconnect, re-engage. We generally have an immediate timeout at 5 minutes below the quarter, right? Somewhere along there. And at that point, that's when as a crew, we reconnect and we remind ourselves that we have to be, from here on out, we gotta be accurate. We have to be. So it's not about deciding to not, let me speak for myself, to not call fouls or not to, but let's be highly accurate in these last 4 minutes so that this game can progress as it should. Okay, we also have to remind ourselves. And yes, and we need that. So no, we won't come, hopefully, we won't come together and say, you know what, this game's almost over with. You know, we're not gonna call anything the rest of the game. Let's let the clock run, let's get out of here. Hopefully that's not, we have those conversations. I'm asking the panel in the back. Do we have those conversations again? Be real, be real. It's family.
Conversations of being
Of not making calls.
Oh, no. A little bit different, but I guess I have. Let's say, I'm sorry, if you don't play basketball, we are talking a lot of basketball, so maybe you cannot relate it. When I started doing for the college, and one school that we went, table crew, not that good. You know, sometimes like a shot clock, and you're still running for another 5 seconds. TC is the new college official. I can see the 30 seconds, I can see the shot clock. Hey, you need to check back to each 25 seconds. You know, I feel like I'm doing the job, right? Because I have to do it. I have to do it right way, up to the end. The game was like, 20 points ball game, let's say. My partner came to me the last time out, both of them. TC, don't even correct the shot clock. Don't even. We're gonna let that go. I said, okay. You know, it's not, we're not calling the foul, try to let that go. It's a little bit different. The certain things is, for some people, for that game, particular game as a game interrupters, I hate to use that word because we call everything for the reason. However, I swore the whistle for the last maybe 30 seconds. Wrong, but it did not affect the game. My veteran, my partner told me, don't blow the whistle. I said, I don't correct it. And another one, wrong. I don't correct it. Even I was right here on the table, I'm not gonna say anything. Tweet, game's over. And they came to me, good job. So, yeah, occasionally there's not to call for the certain things that could happen. But, yeah, the call wise that, like he said, obviously we have to call the foul, trouble, whatever. Or maybe, sometimes swing. It's the baseball, like a tie ball game. And I saw that, I didn't know that much about baseball, but a little bit. Swing it, it's just super close. You call down as a strikeout, the game over. Or you could have held up and no, he didn't. That could be a part of the game management. I think that would happen.
Right. Really good question. Thank you. Really good question. I love it. Who has not spoken?
Like in football, so they call, basically like people say all the time, like offensive lineman are holding every play, pretty much, but it just depends on the degree.
Yes.
But how would you call if like if somebody was holding but it didn't affect the play at all, like it was totally backside, let us out, like would you still call it even though it was something or it didn't affect the play?
See, this is what we need ready. Okay. A friend of ours, Rick Boswell, he referees basketball, soccer, and football. I don't know why he does it. Soccer, you run. Any soccer players in here? You run way too much. I couldn't do it. He works all three sports. Now that'd be a great question for him because he's a white hat. And in football, there are different philosophies. Yes, it's on the backside. Does it really have an effect on the play? Okay. Some crews are a little bit different. It varies from crew to crew. But if it's not a blatant pull down, it doesn't affect the play. More than likely, he may not throw a flag on it. But it's play side, or he actually holds him, pulls him down, then yes, it's easy. You gotta make the call. But their philosophy is a little bit different, so I would preface that. Okay, because if it doesn't affect the play, they may not call it. Really good question. What's your name?
Reese.
Reese?
Yeah.
Okay. Reese, what are you thinking?
I don't have any questions.
Come on. What do you play?
Volleyball.
Play volleyball. I have a volleyball official right here.
I meant both.
Yes.
Come on.
Play volleyball. So is there any situations in volleyball that caught you by surprise? What position you play?
Center.
You're a center?
Okay.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Okay, I gotta be honest. I tried to play volleyball. I can't tell a double. If you came here and hit me in the back of the head, okay? I struggle with it. But if you're a center, you never have a double hit, right? Never. Your sets are perfect. Boop, pop it up, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any situations in volleyball that you are curious about?
Okay, like backward attacks for setters.
Yes.
Like the tipping rule, like how far above like the tape. Like I know there's like rules with like how far above the tape the ball can be for it to be like considered a backward attack.
Backward attack
By a setter?
by the setter
Yeah.
or by the libero or libero, whatever they call
No,
it.
by a setter.
By a setter. If you,
there were restrictions.
no restriction.
You just
as
gotta
a-
be behind.
Behind the tape. You cannot even step on it at all.
Like, okay, so I'm saying like if I'm close to the net. And
Oh
like
yeah,
this.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you contact the ball
Mm-hmm.
above the net, the ball is completely above the net and you're about to throw setter.
Mm-hmm.
You are, the player come, that pass was wrong, didn't come to you sitting right here. You have to jump to try to set. If you contact the ball above the net, completely above the net, yes, that's gonna be a backward attack. And if by the time the opponent try to hit, that means you are considered to participate the block. So those cases, you are penalized that. So ball has to be
Completely.
like a little bit. If ball is a little bit down, this is the net, and then you're okay. But it's here, no.
I think it comes down.
Hold on, she's
Oh, I think it comes down to advantage or disadvantage in that sense. You can see that. I mean, that's why they prefer shorter setters, so you don't have that call or that
An issue.
issue. Yeah.
But she can make a jump.
No, she can jump, however.
I love it. Reese, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. We were in the field and the girl had hit a fly ball to center.
Mhm.
Our center fielder had caught the ball right before and like fell over the fence.
Right.
And the umpire said she bobbled it. I don't think she did. How would you call that regardless if she bobbled it?
Unless I can see, once again, this is what we can see, right? If I can see that she had control of, if she has control, and she doesn't lose control, then yes, then she's out. Okay. If she looks like she drops it, it's home run. But if she looks like she bobbled it, or whatever, doesn't control it, I have to see that in order to make a decision. Only thing I can make a decision on is what I actually see, not what I think, but I can actually see. If it appears that she controlled it, she's out. Yeah, she's out. Was that you?
No.
Okay. I was just curious. All right. Thank you. Any other questions or situations? Yes, sir, I know you had one. Come on.
Yeah.
I'll get a little basketball on it. Do you think with the NBA that they're giving calls to, or not giving calls to people like LeBron or Anthony Edwards or Joe Embiid, for example, the faces of the league type of deal?
Yeah, I have two answers for that. I do know that at one point in time, yes, superstars they received preferential treatment at one point in time. That was real. Okay. Because, like I said, it's entertainment business, right? Okay. Now the approach is not so much, but everyone is still aware of the stakeholders. Okay. I'm gonna give you an analogy. Do all of you guys, does anyone here not eat burgers? You might not relate to it. Anybody not eat hamburgers?
I have a gluten allergy.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's
That
okay.
happens. That happens. When you go to Brahms and you submit your order, you wait for it, you smell it, right? It smells good. You put the bag on the counter, they call your number. You go pick it up, you walk out the front door. But the bottom of your bag has a hole in it. Okay. So if you're walking out the door and like 1 or 2 French fries fall out, you're gonna grab it like, how likely are we to go back if we lose a French fry? Are you gonna go back and complain? Well, I know you will.
I'm not gonna complain, but I'm gonna go ask for a new bag.
Okay, I'm with that. If your hamburger falls out on the ground, bust open, are you gonna go back and complain? Everybody, right? Thank you. Because no, that's my hamburger. Same thing in sports. On every team, there are hamburgers and French fries. Okay, now I know everybody here hamburgers, right? Everybody. But there are hamburgers and French fries. If you're a French fry and you pick up a foul or two, coach might not like it, may not say anything about it. But if you're a hamburger, you lead the team scoring, rebounding, block shots, taking charges. Free percentage is 92%, right? Yeah. And you pick up a foul 2 or 3, now we're going back and claim the management, right? Okay? So yes, it depends on if you are a hamburger or French fry. This is real talk. Somebody come off the bench in the NBA, they get ran smooth over by LeBron. Flip say, hey, get up. Get up. All right, we're gonna roll on. Flip it. That's the same player, 10th player on the bench, right? He only comes in when their team is up 20 and somebody's hurt, okay? And somebody's on IR. He only comes in at that point in time and he tries to run over LeBron. Is the decision gonna be the same?
Probably not. Happened in the Olympics.
Come on, why?
Hamburgers and French fries.
Come on. One, unfortunately, this is just real talk. It's not about right or wrong. One has more value than the other. Yeah, real simple. All right. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys one more question. Who's gonna take it? I love it. Yes. Oh, before you speak, what's your name?
Millie?
Millie?
Yeah.
Excellent. Stand up. There you go. All right. What's your question?
Have you ever made a controversial call and then look the next day and you look back at the footage and realize you made the wrong decision?
Ooh, great question. I'll get some help from my panel. In the back. Has any of us ever had a call, controversial call, right? And then I'm gonna answer after that. In a game, and you went back and later looked at it and said, ooh, I think that was the wrong call.
Absolutely.
I'll speak. TC and I just worked a game last week together. It was a college game. And one thing that Wayne said is we're all human, right? And we want to be perfect, but striving for perfection is not attainable. So we strive for excellence. And I put a whistle on a call that I deemed as an illegal screen. And I didn't like the call. And I was a little too antsy. I feel like I didn't let the play start, develop, and finish before I put air in my whistle. And so I went to TC the next dead ball and I just told her, I said, hey TC, I didn't like that call. And we're not perfect. We're gonna make mistakes. But I went to her and I let her know as my R, she was my referee, as my crew chief, I let her know, for one, that was me getting it off of my chest and admitting that I didn't like that call. And it was also communicating to her that we needed to not try and match that call on the other end. And so that's an example that we just had not too long ago. And we have that, you know, sometimes from our angle, we think that we see something and then we either immediately, or when we go back and do break down game film, we see that, you know, yeah, that was a bad call, and you try to learn from it. You try to process why you had air in your whistle at that time, what made you think that it was a foul or that they did something illegally, and then you try to grow from that. And that is one thing that he does a great job of, and we're so fortunate, is that he does watch our game film and he breaks it down. And he sits down and he educates us on things that we're doing right, things that we're doing wrong, ways to improve, and we're constantly learning through that. And game film, it doesn't lie, so it is beneficial for us to be able to go back and be aware of those.
That's good. Clarissa, thank you for sharing.
I mean, that's probably my favorite part, whenever I don't like something and I kind of reflect on it, and again, we learn from it, because you kind of attach an emotion to that, and you don't want to have that emotion again. So you learn how to manage it next time, you know, you become better at it, for sure.
I have an experience I'm going to share with all of you about making a call, and then going back and looking at it later, you realize that it was the wrong call, okay? I am a 2-time cancer survivor, okay? First time I had cancer, you know, went to all the treatments, chemo. I first came back, and TC used to ride with me to every game with her bag, just because they couldn't finish the game. True story. I'm in the game, I'm the crew chief, I have a call right before halftime. It's like maybe 1.2 seconds or something on the clock, right before halftime. And in that moment, you couldn't tell me that it was wrong. The coach, she jumps up. I said, yeah, coach, I hear you. But no, I know I'm right? We can go to replay to look at the time. Okay, the game finishes. I go home. And even, like I said, after refereeing for 30 years, I still break down every game. Every game. Okay, because I'm still learning. And I really do feel like at the end of my 30th year, I was better than the year before. I was better than 5 years before that. Now, I couldn't run as fast, but my officiating acumen was a lot higher. Go home, take a look at the game film, right? Not only was the call wrong, not only did I put a foul on the wrong player, I put a foul on the wrong team. Wrap your mind around that. Wrong team. So, you text my crew, sent them a clip, let them know this is what happened. I immediately called the assigner to let him know that this happened. And then I had that same team, that same coach 2 weeks later. Before the game, I walked up to her. He said, Coach, you know what that play in the halftime? Before halftime? I said, you were 100% correct. Yes, I got that wrong. I said, I apologize, I got it wrong. She said, Wayne, it's not a problem, I appreciate that. Okay, and we were able to move past it. So yes, we're all human. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes. Okay, we just have to embrace them, recognize them for what they are, embrace them and learn from them, and get better because of them. And be thankful that you're having them. Because that's how, as individuals, as people, as student athletes, that's how you get better, is from your experiences. You get better from your failures. Everybody wants to be perfect, right? Everybody wants to have a great game every time out, right? But you get better from your failures, you learn from them, and you get stronger. Okay? So yeah, when it happens, yeah, we don't like it. Yeah, we feel a certain kind of way about it, but learn from it. So that the next time similar situation happens, we don't allow the same thing to happen, and we become better. All right? I want to thank each and every one of you for allowing us to come to speak to you guys this morning. I really appreciate that, giving us the opportunity. Lisa, thank you. Yes.
I've got one more question for all of you guys, and we only have about 5 minutes left.
Mhm.
But just why have you decided to officiate?
Great question.
I mean, it's more like we all have our local high school officials that go and do their duty, you know,
Yes.
but you guys are obviously putting more time and effort into it and you want to do this. I don't know, I can't afford to do it as a career only, but why have you guys chosen?
I'll go first. I officiate basketball. Basketball has been the one sport that, from a very early age, I just developed a very strong passion for. Played in college. I'm originally from Illinois, so played in college in Indiana. Don't turn that. Played. Once my career ended, I got into coaching. I got a little burnout from coaching, not gonna lie, but from parents. And so I took a step away from the game, and it was really, I was missing it. And I feel like my purpose is to give back to the game. So then I went to the dark side, is what people like to say. I got into officiating, and it allows me to give back to the game. That for me has given me so much. It allowed me to travel throughout the United States, meet amazing people, make these connections, and also give back to this next generation of officials. And when I was younger, there were no female officials. So for me also, hopefully inspiring other women to want to take a step into this career, and so that there are more women that you see, whether it's on a softball diamond, a football field, basketball court. So that's my why.
My why is I've been like assistant coaching for those little kids basketball game and stuff, and then I was asked to do a scorekeeper. Hey, you can do score. Why don't you just work for us? I've been doing scorekeeping, and then I was told, no, by the way, I'm 4'11". You said 5'6" and 6. I'm only 4'11", 4'11 and a half. I play basketball. So then, why don't you do officiating? You know, you can be referee again. Are you gonna do with those mamas? No way. That's my, because it's a little kids basketball. I said, no thank you. I'm not gonna do it. I can sit there, table, scorekeeping, and listen to they yelling at you. That's good. And then I was in between jobs. I went back home in Japan and all those things. Then, you know what? Maybe I can run because I like workout and stuff like that. I can run, working out, and I can get the little money. Why not? Yeah, I can be a referee. I know the rule. That's what I thought. But that's my why to start with. Then I just enjoyed it. It's just like, I've been doing almost like 20 years, studying with those kids basketball to high school to now do for college. It's a challenge to me. It's just like, it's running and decision making but it's just so much fun. So I cannot even get rid of my life to officiating. It's a challenging. If you want to do really seriously, oh my goodness, it's a lot to learn, a lot to dealing with, coaching to players to partners, all those things. But it's my challenge for my life. So officiating is just like my life, so that I'm getting old. I may not be able to run as much as I used to, but until that day is coming, I may be doing it because I love it.
For me, I've always been like a
can do that.
student athlete as well, so it was a good way for me to stay active and also pay for tuition. So I was doing it while I was in school. But then after you kind of figure out if you really want to do this, you start kind of thinking like, do I want to put up with all this? But you meet people, if you want to stay in it, you meet people by just attracting it, and you become a good person. So you become the ideal person that, under pressure, you stay calm and collected, how to communicate. So there's just a bunch of good qualities you gain from being in these settings. And I love it, I really do.
I'll make mine real quick. Okay. I love what I do. From the very beginning, I really love fishing. First of all, I love playing. I realized I wanted to do as I thought I was, so I thought I could officiate and still be involved in the game, right? I love fishing. I love, like TC said, I love the challenge. I love the growth. I love the precision. I love everything around it. My entire career, and TC can attest to this, long as I was refereeing my entire career, I never ever asked how much a game is paid. Never. They need a referee, I'll go work. Pay, cool, I appreciate it. But I never asked how much the game is paid. Because if you fall in love with something, it's not a job, it's not a chore. You step into it constantly because you love doing it. The pay is extra, and as you progress, the pay gets better. But no, I just love it. So that's why I've done it, and that's why I stayed involved all this time.
I will challenge you, and I don't know if you are thinking about officiating, but I challenge you. Try it. I'm not going to say that we're a vital part of it, but there is a shortage of officials everywhere, in every sport. And as our more veteran officials are getting out, there's going to be even more of a shortage.
Yes.
And you having the background knowledge of being an athlete in whatever sport that it is, it will allow you to stay a part of that sport, and be able to contribute and give back. And it is very, very rewarding, I will say, to watch players that you've had year after year, watch them continue to grow, watch them go off in college, and now that I've stepped into being a collegiate athlete, being able to watch them also at the college level. So yes, there are many challenges, but I will say it is a very, very rewarding profession.
I agree 100%. Yes. And I've been doing this for long. I have former players that I used to officiate now. I'm officiating their kids in college. Yes, I've been doing way too long. My job was to get them ready to take my games. Likewise, my job would be to get any of you prepared to come work my games. Not just mine, but the next veteran official is going to retire. Someone's got to work it, right? So why not be ready to step into that and make it seamless and make it continue with no difference and no change? All right? That's why we're here. All of us. That's why all of us are here. And we really appreciate your time, your energy, your questions. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
So real quick before you guys leave, I want you guys to know that these 4 people donated their time to make a trip from Oklahoma City. So that
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
To talk to you guys. They got 2 bottles of water and 1 coffee. Thank you. All of you guys, thank you.
I think, Wayne, did you bring cards?
Yes.
As well?
Business cards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
very much.
Thank you.